The Viking Economy. How Raiders Became Rich Traders. Chapter 1. The Viking Money Machine. They were more than raiders. Imagine waking up in a European town around the year 900. You hear the sound of wooden ships approaching. Long, narrow vessels cut through the water. Their sails are raised. Their shields hang along the sides. And suddenly, everyone knows who has arrived. The Vikings. For centuries, the popular image of Vikings has been simple. Brutal warriors who sailed across Europe, burned villages, stole treasure, and disappeared into the sea. But there is a problem with that image. It misses half the story. Because the Vikings weren't just raiders. They were traders, merchants, shipbuilders, explorers, farmers, craftsmen, and entrepreneurs. And behind their famous raids was something much bigger: an economy. The Vikings developed trading networks that stretched across Europe, the Middle East, and deep into Asia. They moved silver, furs, slaves, weapons, amber, honey, iron, textiles, and luxury goods across enormous distances. Their ships weren't just weapons. They were economic machines. And understanding how Viking wealth worked reveals something surprising. The Vikings didn't become powerful simply because they knew how to fight. They became powerful because they learned how to move valuable things faster than their rivals. Chapter 2. The most important Viking technology. The greatest Viking economic advantage may have been sitting in their shipyards. The famous Viking longship was fast, flexible, and remarkably seaworthy. It could cross open seas, but it could also travel surprisingly far into rivers. That gave Viking traders something incredibly valuable: access. A merchant didn't necessarily need a massive port. A Viking ship could travel from the ocean into a river system and reach communities far inland. Think about what that meant. Goods from Scandinavia could travel south. Goods from Europe could travel north. Silver from the Islamic world could move toward Scandinavia. Furs from the forests of the north could move toward wealthy markets. The ship connected worlds that had previously been difficult to reach. And speed mattered. A merchant who could move valuable cargo quickly had an advantage over someone relying on slower land routes. So the Viking ship wasn't simply transportation. It was infrastructure for an international economy. Chapter 3. The Vikings discovered globalization. From Scandinavia to the Islamic world. One of the biggest surprises about Viking history is just how far their trading networks reached. Viking merchants traveled east through the rivers of Eastern Europe. They established or participated in trading centers along major routes. Eventually, Scandinavian traders reached the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic world. And what did they find? Silver. Lots of it. Archaeologists have discovered enormous numbers of Islamic silver coins, known as dirhams, in Scandinavia and other parts of the Viking world. This tells us something important. The Viking economy wasn't isolated. It was connected to enormous international markets. Imagine a Viking merchant carrying furs from the northern forests. Those furs could be exchanged for silver. That silver could then be used to buy other goods. The merchant wasn't simply stealing wealth. He was participating in a chain of exchange stretching thousands of kilometers. And silver became one of the most important forms of wealth in the Viking world. Chapter 4. Silver was the Viking dollar, a world without modern banks. Today, if you want to buy something expensive, you might use a bank transfer, credit card, or digital payment. The Vikings didn't have any of that. Instead, precious metals played a huge role. Silver coins were valuable, but Vikings didn't always care about the exact coin itself. They could weigh silver and use it according to its weight. This system is often described as a weight-based economy. A silver bracelet could be more than jewelry. It could also represent wealth. A piece of silver could be cut, weighed, and exchanged. This made silver incredibly useful in a world where currencies varied from one region to another. And here's the fascinating part. A Viking merchant could carry wealth in a compact form. Instead of transporting hundreds of kilograms of goods just to preserve wealth, silver could serve as portable purchasing power. But Viking wealth wasn't just silver. There was another commodity that could make merchants incredibly rich. Furs. Chapter 5. The Fur Economy. The Wealth of the North. Northern Europe had something wealthy markets desperately wanted: luxury animal furs, sable, marten, fox, and other valuable pelts. In colder regions, these materials were abundant, but in wealthy markets farther south and east, they could command high prices. This created a powerful economic opportunity. Viking traders could obtain goods from the northern forests and transport them toward major trading centers. The farther the goods traveled, the greater the potential value. This is one of the oldest economic principles in history. Buy where something is cheap, sell where it is valuable. The Vikings understood this without needing modern economics textbooks. They simply followed the money, and their trading routes became increasingly sophisticated. Chapter 6. When raiding became a business. The economics of a Viking raid. But here's where the story gets darker. The Vikings didn't abandon raiding when trade became profitable. They often used both. A successful raid could generate enormous wealth quickly. Instead of spending months producing goods, a raider could attack a wealthy settlement and seize valuables immediately. Gold, silver, weapons, food, livestock, and unfortunately, human beings. Slavery was also part of the Viking-era economy. Captured people could be sold or forced into labor. This made raiding economically attractive, but extremely violent. And there was another strategic advantage. Raiding could provide capital. A successful expedition could bring back wealth that could then be used to purchase ships, weapons, land, or trading goods. In other words, for some Viking leaders, war could finance commerce. Chapter 7. The Viking Entrepreneur. Wealth was about connections. Viking wealth wasn't only about how much silver you possessed. It was about who you knew. A successful merchant needed relationships with shipbuilders, with craftsmen, with farmers, with foreign merchants, with local rulers, and sometimes with powerful warriors. Trade required trust. A merchant traveling thousands of kilometers couldn't simply assume everyone would cooperate. Political alliances mattered. Protection mattered. Reputation mattered. And this created a powerful connection between wealth and power. A wealthy Viking could gain influence. A powerful Viking could protect trade. Protected trade could generate more wealth. More wealth could finance more ships. And more ships could create even greater influence. It was a cycle. Trade created wealth. Wealth created power. Power protected trade. Chapter 8. The Viking Trade Cities, where the money changed hands. Eventually, Viking commerce created major trading centers. Places such as Hedeby in modern-day Denmark became important hubs. Merchants arrived carrying goods from different regions: furs from the north, weapons and metalwork from Scandinavia, textiles and luxury goods from farther south, silver from distant markets. These settlements were the medieval equivalent of economic crossroads. And that is important because economies grow when people meet. One merchant has something another merchant wants. Another has something someone else needs. The trading center becomes the meeting point. And suddenly, wealth begins circulating. The Vikings weren't simply moving goods. They were building markets. Chapter 9. Why the Viking economy eventually changed. The world was catching up, but no economic system stays the same forever. Over time, European kingdoms became stronger. Cities expanded. Christian rulers consolidated power. Trade routes changed. Political borders became more organized. And the Viking advantage began to disappear. The same rivers and seas that once made Viking raiders terrifying became increasingly controlled by organized states. European rulers built stronger armies and defenses. At the same time, Christianity spread throughout Scandinavia. The Viking world slowly transformed. Raiding became less profitable. Permanent settlements and agriculture became more important. And trade continued, but increasingly within a more organized European economy. The Viking Age was coming to an end, but its economic legacy remained. Chapter 10. The Real Lesson of Viking Wealth. Raiders, traders, and the power of movement. So what can the Viking economy teach us today? Perhaps the biggest lesson isn't about violence. It's about movement. The Vikings understood that wealth could be created by connecting places. A product that was ordinary in one region could be extremely valuable somewhere else. Silver could move thousands of kilometers. Furs could cross continents. Ships could connect distant markets. And information could be just as valuable as physical goods. The Vikings became powerful because they understood something that modern businesses still depend on. You don't always need to create something new to become wealthy. Sometimes, you need to know where something is valuable and how to move it there. The Viking economy was built on ships, silver, trade, warfare, labor, and connections. They were raiders, but they were also merchants. They were explorers. They were craftsmen. And they were among the most ambitious economic networks of the medieval world. So the next time you picture a Viking standing on the deck of a longship, remember, he might not have been sailing toward a village to raid it. He might have been sailing toward a market. And that may be the most important secret of Viking wealth. They didn't just conquer the world, they connected it. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.